Here, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Lil Biggie here with another video. As you see by the title, if you don't already know, man, we're gonna react to some of the things First Take said, and also react to the Steelers versus Colts game yesterday. Uh, Listen to First Take a little bit. Only saw a snippet, and I said let me react to this because I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm tired of being disrespected. I'm tired of us not getting our props. I'm tired of us always. I'm tired of First Take always find a way to nitpick, but they never want to nitpick the other team. So we're gonna play the audio from the First Take clip. We're gonna play in the order is Stephen A. Smith. It's then Cam Newton, and then it's Max Kellerman. I think Michael Irvin's there too. He might have said something, but we're gonna react to all of them. So without any further ado, man, let's listen to this clip real quick. Let's listen to this clip real quick.
Offense was impressive, but were you more impressed with the Steelers D or more concerned with the way that Colts offense looked?
I was shocked by how the Steelers defense looked because they've been an absolute embarrassment. There's no doubt about that. 4 times this year, giving up over 30 points. And then I'm looking at the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm still not enamored. That's why that Steeler fan needs to sit down and not get too excited, because the reality is is that Aaron Rodgers, 24 of his 32 passes were for under 10 yards. Were for under 10 yards. You dipping and dunking and all. I get all of that. The Steelers, DK Metcalf had 6 yards on 2 receptions. Michael Irvin, I'm looking at you. DK Metcalf had 6 yards on 2 receptions. I mean, I love DK, but that's an embarrassing statistic for a receiver. You got Jaylen Warren. He's averaging 1.9 yard a carry yesterday. The Steelers averaged, 1.7 yards per carry rushing the football yesterday. I'm not excited about this. Now, Cam Hayward called out the defense, said that they didn't play with any kind of toughness against the Packers and all of this other stuff. I get that part. And so they showed up and they showed some pride. But if you could do it against an Indianapolis Colts team that was a #1 offense, okay, with a Jonathan Taylor that was a stud, and we were talking about him as an MVP candidate, all right? Even though Daniel Jones looked awful, sacked, 3 interceptions, sacked twice, turned the ball over rather, 5 times. We understand, even with him and these Indianapolis Colts, that was an aberration. That is not something you should expect to see again from the Indianapolis Colts. I'm praying that we see some semblance of that from the Steelers defense moving forward. At the very least, be opportunistic, because you haven't done anything in over a month.
So I'm gonna stop him right there because it's insane to me how we can give the Colts and have the Colts to such high regards, but then can't face the reality of the situation. Okay, so let's talk about the great and honorable Colts that are #1. Let's look at their team. Let's look at who they faced. Okay, week 1 they faced the Dolphins and beat them 33-8. Can we all discuss that the Dolphins are garbage? Can we all come to agreement? The Dolphins are garbage. Tua is trash. He's been trash for about 3-4 years now. Okay? On to the next one. Colts versus Broncos. We'll give them props for that one. I'm gonna be a true hater, because if I say this, I'm a hater. I'm gonna be a true hater. Week 2, we're building footage. Daniel Jones hasn't played in almost 2-3 years since he's been cut from the Giants. Then he was on, I believe, the Vikings. Didn't get no time there. And now he's on the Colts. First game, first play, first week against the Dolphins. We'll give that to you. Ain't no footage on you. Week 2, there's still a little bit of footage, but even the offense ain't running by their full potential yet. So we understand that one. Cool. I'll still give the Colts that one. Broncos in the trash on the scrub team, and it's both ways. You don't really got footage on the Broncos or Bo Nix, but you do because he played last year. Daniel Jones didn't play at all, so it was almost like a whole new system. But whatever. Colts and Titans, 41-20. They faced the freaking Titans. The Titans ain't been good since they've been the Titans. The Titans ain't never been good. Only thing good coming from the Titans is Denzel Washington remembered the Titans. Okay? Next, they faced the Rams, above 500 team, and lost. We've seen the same mistakes. Fumble in the pass, messing up a touchdown, return for a touchback. We saw the mistakes when they faced a really good team. And look what happened. They lost 27-20. Then they faced the Raiders. Abysmal team. The Raiders aren't good. They're what? They just lost last week off of going for a 2-point instead of going for a field goal, a regular field goal to tie it up. Like they got receivers. Only got one person, which is the tight end Brock Bowers, and outside of that, everything else is skeptical. Yeah, you can say the running back, but let's talk about it. They're not good. That's it. Then they face the Cardinals. Until the Cardinals get rid of Kyler Murray and the running backs get back from injury report, they aren't a contender. Can we talk about that? Marvin Harris Jr. isn't bad. The defense aren't bad, but Kyler Murray is, in my opinion, if you are below 6 feet as a quarterback, I do not hold you up to high regards, because the shortest lineman in the NFL, an active lineman in the NFL, is 6'2". So if you're 5'10", 5'11", 5'8", this is impossible. I'm sorry. Still, not a good team. The Colts beat them. Colts face the Chargers. Chargers are a decent team. Still not above 500, but are a decent team. Najee Harris was hurt. Omar Hampton was hurt. Their wide receivers can't catch for nothing. Can we talk about that? Is Quentin Johnson a wide receiver 1 on any other team? No. Who's their tight end? I'll wait. Okay, then. They don't have weapons. They have Justin Herbert, and the two weapons that they did have in running back are gone and hurt, and then the wide receivers are spotty. Next, they face the Titans again. I'm sorry. Then you label them the number 1 offense, which statistically speaking they are, but you have to put an asterisk next to the number 1 offense because they haven't played anybody. The only good competition that they've played defensively was the Rams. And look what happened. They lost. So then they face another defensive team and lost badly. Okay, hold on. Because I'm a Steelers fan and I hate to be biased. But in the third quarter, the score was 24. Was it 24? Or was it, I believe it was 24-7. The game was over. Okay. The defense started playing back. Colts got garbage points. Now, I will be honest. They should have nipped it in the bud. They shouldn't have even scored 20 points. I give you that. The little fumble by Roman Wilson also didn't help. It didn't help us drain the clock. But in honesty, we spanked that butt. Okay? We spanked that butt. So you can't hold the Colts to high regard if the only two competition or only two above 500 teams that they actually faced, they lost to. Yes, they're over 100. I mean, yes, they have the number 1 offense, and their running back is so great and then is averaging 100, almost had 300 yards in the last 3 games. All that's great. But what happened against the Steelers? Huh? What did we forget? Are we forgetting? I feel like we really are. I feel like we are. See, the problem for me is that we forget. Steelers forced 6 turnovers. They forced 6 turnovers. And if we're really being honest, 5 of them from the quarterback, the great Danny Dimes. But y'all want to praise Daniel Jones and act like Daniel Jones ain't Daniel Jones. I forgot. I'm sorry. Y'all want to be mad at us for losing against the Green Bay Packers, who there is an asterisk around them as well, but they are labeled as a decent team. They make it to the playoffs every year. Just about. Ever since Jordan Love been there, they've been a threat. But you want to praise the Colts for facing the Titans twice? And the Dolphins and the Raiders? They haven't faced anybody. And when they did, look what happened. They got spanked. Or we can say they lost. How about that? I won't say spanked because they did score 20 points and we won 27-20. Okay, fine. But until they face above 500 teams, we can't call them the best team. We can't assume they're just gonna snap right out of it. They couldn't. Why couldn't they run the ball, Stephen A. Smith? Huh? Why couldn't they run the ball? It was just an off game, huh? We saw that giant hole the O-line created against the Titans, but guess what? It was the Titans. Come do that with Cam Hayward on the line. Keanu Benton, Derek Harmon, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith. You won't get that big line like that, but you would get it against the trash Titans. You would drop 40 plus points against the Titans. You would run 100 yards against the Titans. I could run 100 yards against the Titans. That's not saying much. But then to assume that they are this great team, you know what? All right, I'm gonna stop ranting. Anyway, let's go. Let's go, Ken. What you got to say?
When you look at this stat line, is 6 turnovers. Playmaker, Danny O. And you say to yourself, we only lost by 7 points?
Exactly.
That's something that you have to start to say to yourself. It's like, okay, that's blowout numbers. That's supposed to be a 40 burger to say the least. But now you start to really look on the other side. They did not lead in the stat line with total offense. I said it from time to time since the beginning of the season. The Pittsburgh Steelers needs big questions or have big questions at the amenity position from the receivers. They have no amenities. That, not DK. DK Metcalf, for me, is a person that's the biggest head scratcher because you say to yourself, he looks the part, he's well and capable, it's just not producing for what it's worth. Obviously, understanding the type of quarterback that A-Rod is, and you start to see the stat line of 2 receptions, 6 yards, impossible.
Yeah, but for me, that I put that on the coaching staff in Pittsburgh. Now, Seattle ran DK a different way. He's a big guy. When I remember him coming out of the combine, he's a big guy that had transition issues, going in and out of cuts. You got to let him run deeper, deep routes. When he's in Seattle, he ran deeper comebacks.
Yeah.
Because he was so fast. Once you get going, it doesn't matter how quick you turn your hips. You got to get out of there. And now he has more room and more time to slow down and break down. Listen, I'm more impressed with the Steelers defense because that's the defense I've been used to seeing and expect them to be. But I'm going to tell you something. If you guys think, okay, Indiana Jones is gone and Daniel Jones is back, and you think this is about to happen every game in Indy, that ain't going down. That's a real team in Indy. I mean, a scary team in Indy. They have everything, and Indiana Jones has revived his career. He can play football. It was just playing in New York, where it's hard to succeed as a quarterback. In Indy, it's a little different. I think Indy will be fine.
I'm sorry. I have to nip that in the bud yet again. Okay. Now, what they're saying is technically right. Indianapolis the Colts will bounce back from this. But the question is, why would they bounce back from this? Now, if you did watch the game, they did have a stat pop up on the screen during the Colts game that the first 6-7 weeks they had the easiest schedule. And now that the tail end of the schedule is probably the 4th hardest schedule in the NFL, this is where, and truth be told, there's still an asterisk behind that because they're only facing about maybe 4 teams above 500 for the rest of the week, and we're at week 9. I'm sorry. So let's look at the schedule. They face the Falcons next week. The Falcons are flip-floppy. 1 minute they beat the Buffalo Bills and show you their potential. The next minute they lose. I'll give that one to the Colts. Then y'all face the Chiefs. That number 1 offense is going to look like a number 1 offense against the Chiefs? I highly doubt it. You can come back and mark this video 2 weeks from now, and let's see if they win. I'm telling you right now, the Chiefs are going to beat the Colts. But then the argument then is going to be that the Chiefs are so great and this and that. No, the Colts haven't faced anybody yet. They finally are. They faced us and lost. They're going to face the Chiefs and lose. Then they're going to face the Texans and win. Why? CJ Stroud may be out of the game by then. He's still hurt. It's still in question. But CJ Stroud isn't as good as he was his first year. The Texans haven't been good since Deshaun Watson. And that was even skeptical. Then they faced the Jaguars. I'm sorry. Can we talk about the division? In the AFC, there's 2 teams that have there's 2 conferences that have the easiest. There's 2 teams in the conference that have the easiest division: the Colts division and the Buffalo Bills division. Patriots fans, I'm getting at you too. You have the Jets and the Dolphins. You have to face 4 times in a year. That's easy 4 dubs. The Patriots just now got good. Thank goodness. So the Buffalo Bills have a little, hiccup, and they possibly could, cause them a little hiccup down the road. But before that, the Bills are just walking away with an easy sweep. The Colts is the only team in their division who haven't made it to the Super Bowl and won. When the last time the Texans made it to the Super Bowl and won? I'll wait. When the last time the Jaguars made it to the Super Bowl and won? Shoot, made it to the Super Bowl. How about that? When the last time the Jaguars made it to a Super Bowl? Never. They have never made it to the Super Bowl. Ever. That's a cakewalk. If you put any contender team on that in the Colts division, they're walking out of there 6-0. Put us in there. 6-0. Ravens 6-0. Bengals 6-0. Chiefs 6-0. Bills 6-0. That's not saying much when you get to face the lowest tier of teams in your division, but then when you face a team in your conference that's above 500 and they beat you and you have 5 turnovers, it was just a bad game. No, that's not a coincidence. That's not. Why do you think Daniel Jones looked trash on the Giants? Yes, it was a coaching staff issue, but look who he had to face. The Cowboys and the Eagles. Why do you think he looked trash? Huh? Why do you think he looked trash then? It blows my mind how we forget common sense when it comes to sports. We forget logic and we just blindly go off stats and never worry about the stuff around the stats. Okay? Yes, they have the number 1 offense. Steelers would too. We face the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, the Titans twice, and the Chargers. We would too with our trash selves. Stop it. Because when Daniel Jones was on the Giants, he was a scrub. Everyone wanted him out the way. Now all of a sudden he's Danny Dimes. He's Danny Pennies. And we saw that. 5 turnovers alone from just Daniel Jones. 1 from Joshua Downs. Where was Danny Dimes then? He was dropping some passes. He was throwing some passes on the money to Michael Pittman, Allen Pierce. There was some passes in between the holes in the coverages. One against Darius Slay, I saw that. One against Brandon Echols. He had some great passes. Don't get me wrong. He's going to give you those passes. He's the quarterback in the NFL. He can get you them passes with the right time, the right presence protection, with the right plays. He can give you those passes. But in the end, what makes Daniel Jones is that when it comes down to it, when it matters the most, he folds. There's a reason why when Daniel Jones was on the Vikings, he wasn't a starter. You know who was? Sam Darnold. Why? Because Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, only reason Daniel Jones is starting is because the team is unsure of Anthony Richardson. And as they should be. But to sit here and act like the Colts are so good when they facing 6 teams within this season with an easy dub. Mike Tomlin is known for going 9-8. We make fun of him for going 9-8. Imagine if he got 6 dubs, you could already scratch off. I need to win 3 somehow, some way. I need to win 3. And you know how? By facing the Raiders once, facing the Dolphins once. That's 8. Now I just need to face another trash team. Oh wait, we get to face the Cardinals. Easy. So now we can lose the rest of the hard games because we already got our 9 wins. Stop it. Stop praising a team that hasn't faced anybody yet. Because when they face somebody, look what happened. And yes, I will put that blame on the Steelers as well for letting them even get a shred of hope of coming back. A shred of hope for coming back during that 4th quarter. Defense was lackadaisical. I blame them for that. They got comfortable, they got cocky, and they let the team come back and score a touchdown. You know what the score was, right? Y'all remember what the score was? Let me hold on. Let me show you what the score was, because everyone forgets. Everyone seems to forget what the score was. Let me go back for you guys. Daniel Jones and the Colts scored 1 touchdown in the 1st quarter. We scored 17. Right? After those 17 points, it was 17-7 going into half. No one scored. Daniel Jones was getting those turnovers left and right. We then scored a touchdown and 2 field goals. And then they finally scored 10 points. Finally. Scored 10 points. The only touchdown, they only scored, what, 2 touchdowns? If I'm not mistaken? Daniel Jones only threw 2 touchdowns? Yes or no? Oh, he only threw 1. I'm sorry. He threw 1 touchdown and what was it? He rushed it in and he passed to Joshua Downs for a touchdown. And they lost. So help me understand that. Help me understand. They scored 10 points and the score then looked a little more pleasant. And as the head coach would probably do this, I would do the same thing as a head coach. I would keep my players on the field and let's keep the score manageable. Let's not make it that bad of a loss. But stop it. Now let's hear what Max Kellerman has to say. Max Kellerman. Danny O. I'm sorry. He's just another Max Kellerman. That's the only reason why. Danny O is just another Max Kellerman. So let's hear what Danny Kellerman, Max Orlotsky, has to say.
I still believe in the Colts to make the AFC title game more than I do believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Crazy.
There's no team in the NFL right now. That is benefiting off of turnovers like the Steelers. If they get turnovers, they play good defensively. They've beaten the Patriots and they've beaten the Colts because they've gotten 11 turnovers in that game.
But if they don't,
you can get after them. So I'm not worried about Indy. I think still Indy is one of the more difficult offenses to match up against. And everyone's going to overreact to the Daniel Jones turnovers. One, TJ Watt makes a great play. He's going to strip that ball from every quarterback outside of Josh and Patrick. Number 2, the bad interception to Peyton Wilson, yes. The other interception is just a bad break, bro. Ball gets tipped up in the air off a pass rusher, becomes interception. So I'm not going to overreact to that. If the Steelers get takeaways, they could beat anybody. If they don't, they can get beat by anybody.
Well, damn it, they don't usually get takeaways, so let's get that out of the way first. Secondly,
Hold on, Max. Dan. Kellerman. Orlovsky. Hold on 1 second. He threw 3 interceptions there, buddy. So the first one. So what we're doing is, I see what we're doing. So the first one was the fumble by TJ Watt. That's just TJ Watt do that to anybody, right? Okay, cool. So let's do that. But can we also not talk about you gonna leave TJ Watt 1-on-1? I'm sorry. Are you gonna leave TJ Watt 1-on-1? Help me understand that, y'all. You know why TJ Watt's been quiet the last couple of games? Why he's been hard for him to get a sack? Because they double and triple him. They chip block him. Anything they do. The one play you decide not to, look what happened. Who messed up there? That was the quarterback's fault, right? The great old Daniel Jones. See, the problem is too, right? We praise the quarterback and then never want to praise the coaching staff, the coaches, for calling certain plays too. See, as a quarterback, you're supposed to realize, hey, there's no one here on TJ Watt's side. Let me motion somebody over here to kind of chip him and get out the way. No one touched him but the left tackle. And he swooped by him and got the sack. But cool. Then the interception with Patton Wilson. Danny said that was a bad interception. Right. But why was that a bad interception? What happened there, Danny? We're gonna negate the fact that was a bad interception because this Danny Dimes, he normally don't make those mistakes. Why would he against the Titans? Why would he against the Jaguars? Why would he against the Raiders? Who do they have? Nobody. Of course, it's hard to make those mistakes when you have better wide receivers than their cornerbacks. It's hard to make those mistakes when you're facing below tier defenses. But when you start facing top, and here's the crazy part. Let's really be honest. Steelers defense shouldn't be this low. They're ranked, 30th out of the 32 teams in the NFL? That's sad. I'm never knocking that. But the Steelers we saw today, the Steelers we saw yesterday on Sunday, is the Steelers I'm expecting to see. Granted, I'm not expecting to see and have us force 5-6 turnovers a game. 2 or 3 is maximum. I would love to. Okay? A fumble, and then an interception, or maybe 2 fumbles. That's it. That's all I'm expecting from the Steelers. Okay? But to try to downplay what we did and to give the Colts more props is sickening to me. We're looking at these stats and what they have here. Everything that's being done. Their offense, the number one quote unquote offense that has the best offense, the best running game, the best receivers. This is the first time two receivers, let alone one receiver, had 100 yards the whole entire game. We look at the time of possession. We look at who was on the field. Their offense was on the field way more than us. Their offense was averaging 5 yards a play. They had 313 passing yards, 55 rushing yards. They went perfect on fourth downs. But help me understand, right? With these stats, right? With 368 total yards, right? This isn't like they didn't have 300 plus total yards. Like Daniel Jones didn't throw for 300 plus yards. He does that. He had a great game, but he still lost. They had 300 total plus offense almost any other game, but they still lost. Because that's what their game plan works against the trash teams. But when you start facing real teams, they have the number one offense and they were on the field the most and still couldn't convert and only walked away with 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. The number one offense? Oh, but that was because of the turnovers. That's because this is an anomaly. This is just a glitch in the matrix. Right. No, it's not. Stop it. Can we stop? Can we stop? Can we stop praising the trash? Please. You sit there and give me a garbage can and say, oh, look, when I wash it and shine it, it looks, no, it's still garbage. I don't care how you make it look. I don't care how you dress it up. When you put garbage next to other garbage, some garbage is going to stink a little bit more. Okay? See, when you take out the garbage, the first and second garbage bag may not stink as much as that last garbage bag before garbage day. You know, you try to get all the garbage you need. That last garbage bag is going to stink way worse than the other two. The Colts stink, okay? They just don't stink as much as the Titans. They don't stink as much as the Raiders. Right. They had the same team and the same players last year. They had the same players the year before that. It's just now that they finally got it and they finally figured it out, right? No, that's not the case. They just been facing trash teams, okay? And the time that y'all realize that, see, y'all want to get on us for losing against the Seattle Seahawks. We should have lost. That's a good team, right? Great defensively, great offensively. Have Sam Darnold, who is better than Daniel Jones. Cool. Next, we lost to the Bengals. Should have lost that game. Terrible defense the Bengals have. Offense couldn't get on the field. Defense couldn't get off the field. I'm not mad at that. I can't make an excuse. We should have won that game no matter if we were at their house or not. I understand divisional rivals. You give one to them. But then that's the other thing. You can give one in the AFC North. You can give one to each team. You cannot give Ravens 2 wins when they facing us. You can give them one and say one at home, one away. They're going to lose one away. They're going to lose one at home or win one at home. Same for the Browns. Yes, the Browns are trash, but they know us. We know them. They can win one, we can lose one. The Ravens face them, they can win one, they can lose one. It's a divisional rival team. Same way the Patriots just beat the Bills. Sometimes the Raiders beat the Chiefs, sometimes the Chiefs beat the Raiders. But you know who never really lose to the Titans? The Colts. Does that mean the Colts are good? No, you're just facing trash teams. They weren't a playoff team and they didn't lose to the Titans. Shoot, they lost one time to the Jaguars in order to get to the playoffs and couldn't even get that. But this year they're supposed to be great because they got Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones normally doesn't mess up. The team normally doesn't mess up, but they do. They just haven't been tested yet. You know that one friend that you was real cool with, y'all hung out, y'all always kick it, man. That's your guy, that's your buddy. But then something comes up and he acts a little funny. And you're wondering, like, why he act like that? We always been cool. Why would he do that? Because your friendship never been tested. Y'all just always chill, hang out. Yo, man. But now that something comes up, he acts funny. He acts a certain way that makes you really wonder and question, is that my friend? It never been tested. I can say I got the sharpest sword in the world. But until I cut something with it, it ain't nothing. And that's what we saw today from the Colts. They have the number one offense, the quote unquote best team in the NFL, but they lost to the Steelers because they never been tested. And look what happened. You look at the stats, we didn't do much. And that's what I blame the offense for that. Aaron Rodgers had 203 passing yards, 1 touchdown. That 1 touchdown was, I forgot who was who. Was it to Darnell? Who was that 1 touchdown pass to? I don't fully remember. I think it was to Darnell. I'm literally drawing a blank. But I know Jalen Warren had 2 rushing touchdowns. Did his thing because thanks to the turnovers that the defense provides. But that's all you can ask. That the defense produce turnovers and that the offense scores off of them. Now, would I like more touchdowns than field goals off the turnovers? For sure. Am I mad that the defense let the team try to almost come back? Yeah. But with what we had, with the injuries on that reserve for the Steelers, they still walk out of there and force 6 turnovers. We'll say 5. We'll say the punting one. I'll give you the punting one. You can have that one. But for the Steelers to force 5 turnovers, strictly off of linebackers and the front 5, aka the front 7, is amazing. And you can't knock that. I'm sorry. You cannot knock that. 6 takeaways, 3 interceptions, 3 fumbles. Joey Porter with an interception. Peyton Wilson with an interception. Jack Sawyer with an interception. 2 strip sacks. 1 from TJ Watt, 1 from Alex Highsmith. And how many interceptions and fumbles? How many interceptions do we have? None. Wonderful. That's all. That's how you play football. It's the team who makes the least amount of mistakes. Same with the Patriots. Oh, the Patriots didn't fumble, but they did. Ask why they fumbled that many times. See, the problem is you want to give other teams props, but then never want to give the Steelers props. To the least team to the one of the top 3 worst defenses in the league, they forced 6 turnovers against the Patriots, who are 5 and whatever, who beat the Buffalo Bills. They forced X amount of fumbles. How'd they do that? Why couldn't no one else do that? You mean to tell me the Buffalo Bills couldn't force a couple turnovers? You mean to tell me that all the other teams that the Patriots faced, none of them forced 6 turnovers? Why is that? Oh, it was just a bad day. No, it's not a coincidence. It's not. This is what happens when you face the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what happens when the Steelers defense is all firing on all cylinders. This is what happens. This is the potential that we thought. This is this is what blows my mind. This is what we thought the Steelers would be on paper at the beginning of the season. And when they start showing little flashes and start showing what people expected them to show in the beginning of the season, it's the team messed up. The offense didn't have a good day. Daniel Jones didn't have a good day. How? How? How did Daniel Jones not have a good day? Michael Pittman had 100 yards. Alec Pierce had 100 yards. How did he not have a good day? He threw for 342 passing yards. They didn't have a good day? Huh? No, that's not it. See, this is what happens when you face the Pittsburgh Steelers. The offense was on the field more than our offense was on the field. Number 1 rule against beating the Chiefs and the Bills even the Ravens is to keep the offense on the bench. With the number 1 offense, they faced our defense more than 50% of the time of the game. The Colts offense was on the field, and our defense shut them down. They walked away with 20 points, 10 in the fourth quarter, had 1 in the first quarter. We forced 6 turnovers, and yet this is what happens. Stop it, man. Stop it. Let's hear what else they got to say.
They were playing without 4 different safeties yesterday. Okay, Highsmith showed up. Obviously, T.J. Watt showed up. Sawyer showed up. Wilson showed up. We give credit where credit is due. But there's a reason that Steeler fans actually held a funeral outside of the stadium for their defense before the game yesterday, because that's how awful they have been. The question is, do we believe that Steelers defense that showed up has really corrected the error of their ways.
No, they're
one-trick pony.
They got to get takeaways.
Right, that's it.
They're not a dominant defense. They're a takeaway defense.
And a takeaway defense is a championship defense. I've been hearing people spew mess. Defense win championships. No, it doesn't. Points win championships. And a takeaway defense gives you the opportunity to win, get points. That's what Pittsburgh has a chance.
That's a lie. That's a
So you
lie.
mean to say a scoring defense wins
That's a lie.
championships?
He's right.
He's trying to say our offense is going to propel the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. You ain't going to no damn playoffs, let alone a Super Bowl. Stop it. Go to commercial break. You ain't going to no damn playoffs.
Earlier in the season, won the turnover battle by 4. They had 5 turnovers in that game. Won it by 7. I'm not optimistic about this team. They can pull it together and things break their way sometimes and they can win. But I don't leave this game feeling like, oh, Steelers back on track. It feels a little bit different than that.
I agree. You made me think of it that way. My first thought was, oh, look at T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
I had forgotten what he looked like. And all of a sudden, there he is out there making plays. And then you point out they make all these turnovers, and they still only win the game by a little bit. So there's the Steelers side of the story, and then there's the other side of the story. You know what the conversation is out there.
Man.
Oh, the Giant fans are in my ear right now, John Fink. I hear you. Oh, the Giant fans loved watching the true Danny Dimes yesterday. The people are going to come out and say the Colts are frauds. Do you believe yesterday was a bad game or a bad sign for the Colts?
I think it was a bad game. I think if you look at the body of work of the Indianapolis Colts, they honestly, they've been truly dominant this season. And a lot of that starts up front, to be honest with you. That's where they got whipped. They got whipped up front. This is the first time this season where that Colts offensive line got whipped. And then everything transpired from there. Danny Dimes was rattled, throwing picks, fumbles, all those type of things. How many times are we going to see that same Indianapolis Colts offensive line get whipped? I probably can count on one hand if it happens again this season. So that's why I'm going with that's a bad game, not a bad sign.
I think people were waiting to be able to take these shots at Daniel Jones, and they can go right ahead. But if you watch that game, there's not anything that very many quarterbacks can do in that situation the way that they were getting beat up front, and this team has been reliant on that running attack. You take away that running attack, and you don't give him the time. You have press man coverage that's so tight the entire game. You got a man in your lap. Like, I think it's fair to say Daniel Jones isn't going to be Josh Allen, but nobody thought that. I think that if they can get back to running the ball and protecting him the way they were, he's going to get back to lighting it up again.
But, Nick, that was what I was shocked by, that they couldn't get separation against this team when we saw, look, they never changed anything. It's the same scheme for the last 2 weeks, but they were getting crushed by everybody. And here, I don't know, I was just shocked by it. I think it's a bad sign. Look, the naysayers are going to say, who have they beat?
Right.
A bunch of crappy teams.
Right.
All right? So I think it's a sign, but you're right. I mean, they got to get back to running the football. If they don't, they're in trouble.
Thank you so much, Rex Ryan. And that's all I have to say, man. I'm gonna leave off with this little piece, a little rant, a little monologue, and then I'm out of here. All right. I'm looking at the stats as we speak. Yeah, I don't have these stats put up on the screen, but I'm looking at these stats and what I see here. And it's just, it's a shame how we don't notice this. Daniel Jones has a plus 100 rating against these teams: the Titans, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Titans, the Broncos, the Dolphins. I'm going to go by each team and go by his passer rating, meaning the completion rate. Everything that goes off, that's what the passer rating is. So the Dolphins, 115.9 passing rating. We all know the Dolphins are trash, yes? Broncos, 107.0 passing rating. He only had 1 touchdown that game, 0 interceptions. Same against the Dolphins, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. That number goes a little down, though, because you're facing a pretty good team with Patrick Surtain and defensively. But I also want to say, but I'm not going to say nothing. You know what? They won it. Titans. Daniel Jones had 113.4 passing rating. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Titans is a trash team, right? Oh, but they ran the ball. That's what it was. Jonathan Taylor. And they ran the ball. He did good. He faced the Rams. This is the loss. This is the one loss that they had. He had an 80.6 passing rating. You see the difference? I'm sorry. Do you see the difference? Let me go back. Dolphins, 115. Broncos, 107. Titans, 113. Rams, 80.6. 80.6. Almost a 30 number dip off of that rate, off a 30% rating dip. That's insane. And his stats that game: 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Boy, don't that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Help me understand. Huh? 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. This here, he goes 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. All right. Next, we go to the Raiders. I'm sorry for that. I hit my mic. 113 passing rating. He goes back up. Because you face the Raiders, 2 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. Woo! Face the Cardinals, 101 passer rating, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Woo! Face the Chargers, 113.4 passing rating, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Woo! Titans again, 136 passing rating, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Woo! That's his highest passing rating the whole season. Because the Titans are crappy. But then he goes back to face an above 500 team. 63.9. Jesus. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. You know, that's 20% passing rating lower than what it was against the Rams. 80.6. But the issue is that they just had a bad game. No, Rex Ryan said it. That is not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence. It's not. We've seen Daniel Jones against these trash teams, and he's excelling as he should. But then when we see Daniel Jones facing actual competition, actual above 500 teams like the Rams, he get a little shaky. his play dips. We start questioning, why did he do that? Why he do this? How did he throw that interception? Oh my God, turnovers. No. The same thing that happened against the Rams is almost the same thing that happened against us. Instead of Joshua Downs fumbling with the Steelers, it was, A.D. Mitchell on the Colts. Instead of him throwing 2 interceptions against the Rams, he threw 3 with the Steelers. But it was just a bad game. Jonathan Taylor only ran for 45 rushing yards that game. 45. Y'all were just calling him an MVP. Y'all literally just put him in an MVP race for how great he was running the ball. And then he faced a defense that was slipping with the run, but isn't trash. And look what happened. 45 rushing yards. Back to the regular scheduled program. And that's my problem. That is my biggest problem, is that we see these numbers dip. We see the stats. We compare the stats. Well, we just see the stats. We don't want to compare the stats. We just ignore it and just say, Daniel Jones, 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, thrown for almost 2,500 passing yards. Great quarterback, a.k.a. Danny Dimes, a.k.a. Indiana Jones. He's the greatest. That's all they know. He hasn't faced anybody yet. People had that argument with Floyd Mayweather. Oh, he went 50-0. He ain't facing nobody. He facing old dudes. He facing out of his weight class dudes. This and that. Fine. I'll face who he wanted me to face. Still come out on top. And it's similar with Daniel Jones. He hasn't faced anybody, but now that he has, he ain't come out on top. Now that we see, oh wait, you got to face a 500 team, above 500 team. You started getting you saw the eyes in that brother's face. There was a play that went viral on Twitter, and I saw it or X, and I saw it and I laughed because I looked at that face and even I said, "Oh, he's scared." It's easy for Daniel Jones to look trash on the Giants because you got to face the Cowboys and Eagles twice a year. It's easy to look good with the Colts because you got to face the Jaguars, Titans, and the Texans twice a year. And then just sprinkling a couple more trash teams below 500 teams, and look what happens. Boy, you mean to tell me if we face 8 below, if we face 7 below average, below 500 teams, we'll be considered number one offense. We'll be considered, one of our players will be considered in the MVP race. Man, stop it. That's all I gotta say, bro. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the disrespect that the Steelers get. I'm tired of us getting neglected. I'm tired of all the hate that we receive. And then when we beat teams, it's that the teams didn't show up. Not that we beat them, but that they didn't show up. So with all that being said, man, I just wish that the Stephen A. Smith put some respect on our name. Cam Newton, put some respect on our name. Danny, put some respect on our name. Okay? Stop downplaying the Steelers and making it seem like they just had a bad game. He didn't. He was crappy against the Rams, and he was crappy against the Steelers. That's not a coincidence. That's something you need to worry about and take notice on. Had 100 passing rating against all these trash teams, and in the 2 losses, he get below 100 passing rating? 80.6 against the Rams, 63 against the Steelers? And even the one against the Broncos, that was teetering below 100. But they got the dub. I'm not here for it. I'm not believing it. I'm never going to believe it. Without any further ado, man, I appreciate you guys. And if you want to see more content like this, please leave a like, please comment, please share, and subscribe. And until next time, family, peace.
I've been feeling like an automatopoeia, baby, I just wanna smash, yeah. See you when I see you, or I see you later, either way, I'm on the dash, yeah. Fuck you on caffeine, any second, shorty, I'm about to crash, yeah. In my city, gotta watch your back, don't know which day it'll be the last, yeah. I've been feeling like an automatopoeia, baby, I just wanna smash, yeah. See you when I see you, or I see you later, either way, I'm on the dash, yeah. Fuck you on caffeine, any second, shorty, I'm about to crash. In my city, gotta watch your back, don't know which day will be last.